Who were they? They were not the very religious. All the greatest leaders in Judaism, the Ivy League of scholars, all the ones, everybody opposed them. Who were the ones who were religious leaders? They were they called modern Orthodox. Modern means a euphemism, compromised. That's the word modern. In other words, they're compromising their modesty, the way the women go. You can go to the parades that they make. You'll see women sing. Men are not allowed to listen to women sing. They go dressed not like a Jewish lady is permitted to go. So and yet they call themselves Orthodox. Some of them. So it's a farce. It's a simple farce. They're simply using the religion, counting on the ignorance of the masses, but they're not, so when you see the settlers, and they're always in the news, you see a lot of religious Jews. These are not the religious communities. Yes, they keep Sabbath, and so they're called Orthodox, but they're either coming from non-religious or marginal religious, and they're not from the core religious Jewish communities. Our communities don't vote amongst them. Don't go to a lot of them don't vote at all, and so it's unfortunately to the world they look at it as they are the representatives of Judaism, but it's totally false. It is true that they consider themselves religious, I say, but it's unfortunately that's part of the Satan. Like I say, just like Netanyahu goes in Congress and speaks about God gave the land, but they're not themselves Orthodox. And the red heifer, it's a mention about the red heifer. Again, it's just like they say they're going to build a temple, and Sharon went up on the temple to make a statement with 1,000 soldiers. Do you know that since the destruction of the temple, it's accepted around all Judaism that before there was Islam, the religion Islam, we are forbidden to go up on the area of the Temple Mount. It's considered that we get cut off from God because you need a certain purification. With the red heifer and such things, you need a certain... Yet Sharon went with 1,000 soldiers for a political statement. So it's just the hypocrisy of it all, that they're going... What does he need? What are you going to... He was religious. He had a pig farm, I think. What did he need on the Temple Mount? What was he looking there? He lost something there. What was he doing there? But they had to make a statement. So they go there and they try to use the religion as a tool. But it's considered the worst sin. The very religious communities, we never go. We're forbidden to go onto that area. We never did. And interestingly enough, the Jewish communities always went to pray by the Western Wall. Hundreds of years. The WAC gave the permission. And the Jews would go and pray. There was never a problem. It was given by the WAC. Now they come over the red heifer. All of a sudden they need a red heifer. I don't know why they need the red heifer. They went up there without it anyway. But anyway, all of a sudden they need the ashes and the Torah. It's all baloney. They're using... We know that these guys are sinners. They don't have a red heifer. And if they have a red heifer, it means nothing. It's because the Torah uses a metaphor. A pig with a golden ring in its nose. You want to pull them, so you put a gold ring in a pig's nose. That's what it's all about. Zionism, the state of Israel, is a pig they use the Torah as that's what it is, because the red heifer they need. They're totally ignoring the words of all the authorities of Judaism and so on. We have put out another book. It's also all these things we can get to. It's a traditional Torah opposition to Zionism, historical documents. And like the statement of Theodor Herzl in his diary, he wrote, page 14, the way to solve the problem of anti-Semitism, this is what he was contemplating about, he was the father of the concept of making the state of Israel, right? He said, the way to solve anti-Semitism is to speak to the head priest of Vienna, to get an appointment with the Pope, to make a mass conversion of all the Jews of Austria to Catholicism. That's the solution. It should be done on a Sunday in the middle of the day with music and pride publicly. We are the last generation that held on to the faith of our forefathers. The conversion will be in St. Stephen's Cathedral. In other words, his solution is that they should simply convert out to, this is a Jewish state, and just one more small statement to have Jabotinsky, who was the mentor of Begin, wrote in a newspaper, Haaretz newspaper, in 1919, well before that, unabashedly, he wrote an article in October 22nd, 19, he said, in the national home that they're going to create, we will announce that those Jews who have on themselves the rust of exile, and they refuse to shave off their beards and earlocks, payas, Jews have the custom to have payas, it's a law, will be second-class citizens. The ones who refuse to shave off their beards will be second-class citizens in their state they're making and not have the right to vote. They're making a Jewish state. Imagine, it sounds like a Nazi made this. And this is their state, the heroes of Judaism. And I could go on and on and on. The time doesn't permit now for that. But basically, so I mean, you see the farce, the red heifer. It's like I say, and he's going to say something. He's obviously going to go to Congress and spew some words of the Bible or something, knowing that all the very religious community are crying with the Palestinian people and hurting with them and the criminality and they're busy beating the Jewish people in the streets of Jerusalem because we refuse to accept them. The Judaism. What was the question that you asked? I know I have your question.
Yeah.
No, I had something about
Judaization.
Of what?
Judaization.
Yeah, Judaization. Yeah, like I say, it's not Judaization. It's control. They're using the Torah as a tool, and they see they're successful. That they're trying to make that that you have. It's not Judaization. Again, they're abusing the words of the Torah. But the authorities of Judaism, nobody accepts. We know it's a farce. It's like, again, reform in Judaism. You're using a power because the world is saying, yeah, you're right, why not? But it's not Judaization. It's simply a power grab. That's what it is, a simple political power grab. If that answers your question, I'm not sure that answers basically. And your question was, again, I didn't comprehend.
Actually, I had two questions. The first one was with regards to Emil Fackenheim. He mentioned the 614th commandment, not giving Hitler a posthumous victory.
No, there's 630 commandments in the Torah.
So they created the 614th commandment.
They, you mean
Emil Fackenheim.
No, but he said they. He said they.
They, as in they shouldn't give Hitler a posthumous victory, being the Jews. Generally
He shouldn't
speaking,
give him a victory
by the creation of a new state. So actually, no, they said don't give a victory to Hitler by being in exile. So you have to create a state, which is Israel right now.
Right. So obviously it's not Jewish and has nothing to do with Judaism. There's a lot of people who like to write books on Judaism and theories, and there's a lot of movies about religious Jews. And you should just know, if you see a movie about religious, chances are it was written by somebody who has a slanted look on Judaism, or because in our communities we don't have movies and stuff like that because of morality. If somebody decided to make one, chances are they're either embittered with their religion, they left the religion or something. It's not a true picture of any of that, I can tell you. So,
because I find it quite interesting, the establishment of the state of Israel itself, as it's antithetical to Judaism, because you're not following exile, and at the same time, because of the concept of the universal and the particular, the Zionists are now embedded within the particular, creating the nation state of Israel, which doesn't actually distinguish them from non-Jews or the Goyim.
Right.
So
it happens to be ironically that the Torah warns us that God forbid if we will try to leave exile, it will bring, God forbid, incur the wrath of God. And in fact, the rabbis, which is a very big subject, I doubt we could even. My grandparents were killed in Auschwitz, and the majority of our communities, the very religious immigrants from Europe, we died because of Jews being Jews. And the rabbis said that Zionism was full blossom in like 40 years already prior to Hitler. And it says in the Torah that if you will try to leave exile, we will be hunted like animals. So it's not only not a commandment, but the concept of making a state and these things is God forbid, rabbis who were being led to the gas chambers said that it's coming because we didn't stand up to, as I mentioned, like the prophet was, we didn't stand up enough and fight enough against Zionism, and therefore incurred the wrath of God. Again, the Nazis will be punished by God, but what incurred the wrath, that they will be hunted like animals, he said, is because we're trying to leave exile and so forth. And I just a small little issue there on that. It happens to be that Hitler was from Austria and from Germany, was considered the elite, the most elite high society, and Reform Jewry came from there. Reform said that we're going to assimilate and we're going to be a part together with the Christian society, and therefore we're going to be loved by them. And God showed that Hitler came along and said, your grandparents were Jews, into the gas chambers. And from there was this terrible catastrophe that came from there. While in Hungary was attacked less with the very religious, they were less attacked. I mean, there was over 700,000 people. But I'm saying that maybe God's hand is to show, that you can't fight God. So it's just, they wanted to assimilate and it didn't work. The high society, this educated, elite society, and did such atrocities, gassed people, killed people, and so you can't think you can be smart and outsmart God. Same thing with they make Zionists, they can make a state. The rabbis said you can't run away from God. It incurs the wrath. So it's not Judaism. It's not a commandment. It's on the contrary. We're not allowed to steal. We're not allowed to kill. Palestine should be a free Palestine.
Yes, I think we have 7 minutes left. But to accommodate other stuff to conversation, I think we'll take 2 more questions. So I think Marlena at the back, and 1 more. So I assume the questions will be 1 minute each.
Oh, impact. Yeah, you're right. I didn't have a big enough page.
So maybe
APAC.
Can we take
APAC.
two more questions and then you continue? So 1 question and 1 more? No? Okay, okay, the gentleman. So I think 2 minutes for the questions and 5 minutes to wrap it up. Maybe continue with the answer first. Or the
AIPAC. Yeah, AIPAC is American Israeli Political Alliance Committee, which is, as we said, we don't accuse Israel of being slouches, not competent. The Satan is competent. The Satan has a power, and what they do is they hire the most Israel and Zionism. They hire the most expensive PR firms, and it's an investment because they get back in billions of dollars and so forth. And what they do is they use that second weapon. I said the one weapon is using the Bible. The second is anti-Semitism attack. And every single politician, we go to AIPAC conference. I don't go in. We stand out. We have demonstrations for many years, and you can see every leader, the Democrats, the Republicans, the president, the vice president, the senators, the majority, the minority. Everybody comes to bow to the idol of Zionism. And they come speaking, and I'm not going to say everybody, but almost everybody throughout the years. And if you dare show a little sympathy for the Palestinian people or speak up again, you're a pariah. You're committing political suicide. That is what AIPAC is. AIPAC is American Israeli political, and they of course they wine and dine these people. They give them free tips supposedly because of some elite, of some purpose that's a high godly purpose that people on the Senate are going. They're simply getting a beautiful big vacation to the Middle East, and everything, and they wine and dine and and if dare they speak up somebody or question anything they're doing, then right away they're labeled anti-Semitic and they're committing political suicide. There's books about that. Congressman Finley, it was like 5-term incumbent. Just now, somebody, they used it. So that's what it's all about. They intimidate that people are fearful of speaking up. That's what we mentioned. We try. We can't even meet with the congressman. I met with AOC, who was very from the we didn't make an appointment. We just were in Congress. We weren't there with American Muslims for Palestine. We were going out, and we went in there, and she happened to go into office. Everything is from God, and we were by their office, and we went and we spoke to her. Very pleasant, and she was very understanding as well. She got attacks after that. There was pictures of, whoa. So our PR person said that I didn't make an appointment. I don't blame you. He tried to explain he didn't make that. But I'm saying they're afraid to meet with us because we're speaking against the existence. We're not political. We say the fact, like it says on my card, and we have cards here with these. You can go to the site. You can take anything off. We have these things. It says, pray for the speedy, peaceful dismantlement of the state of Israel. We're not saying, make a state that you can steal half of Jerusalem, because after all, there was a big mansion, a lot of rooms, and the owner of the mansion went on vacation, and somebody came in and took over the mansion. The guy comes back, and he says, "What are you doing in my house?" So he said, "Well, there's enough room for both of us." So the guy takes him to court. He doesn't want to leave. So he says, so the guy who went in, he says to the judge, "Look at this guy. He's such a selfish person, such an evil person. He has a big mansion with a bunch of rooms. I can't have a little bit of it." I mean, imagine someone would take Rhode Island, take over the smallest state in the United States. Who would be silent? This is what we're talking about here. So they wanted to divide. They wanted a two-state solution. According to Judaism, we're forbidden to have even 1 inch of a Jewish state. It's not Jewish, it's a rebellion against God. You're not allowed to steal or kill. So I met with many Palestinian people, and they said, "We don't want to give up our homes." I was in Baja Barrage, that they gave me a symbolic, a key from the set. They want that. Just about, they carry around their keys. They said, "I'll never forget my home. I'll never forget my..." Why should they have to give up their homes in Jerusalem?
That's not a replica, right?
No, this is a replica. This is Baja Barrage, where in refugee camp in Lebanon. We went to Sabra Shul too. Basically, I'm saying it's illogical. The whole thing is illogical. We call it it's the works of Satan. Satan, because how come they ratified to make, when they were created to bring peace to the world, why would they create a Jewish state, meaning that one segment should have the authority automatically over, especially over the majority even? But it's going to bring strife. Why are you giving it the name of one distinct religion over the others? It defies logic. Just like they had apartheid, this defies logic. It's the works of Satan, just like today, you're living and breathing over 9 months, 10 months of slaughter.
Yes, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Can we give way
Yeah,
to
yes.
the last 2 questions, and hopefully very brief? Lina and the gentleman.
Thank you for the call. My name is Marlena, and incidentally, I'm Hungarian Romani on my mom's side. You put a lot of blame on Jews, and I'm sure that's true, but what are your thoughts on the role of the hegemonic Western powers in the establishment of the State of Israel, for example, through the Balfour Declaration?
So, for example,
The Balfour Declaration.
right? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And one last one.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Rabbi.
Yes.
You seem to be very passionate and convinced of your obligation to live in exile. And this seems to resonate with, if you know, Dr. Ismail Farouki.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, he wrote about the Jewish problem, the problem of Palestine. And he proposed a solution. Of course, dismantling the state of Israel.
Right.
And one of his other solutions, which is hardly discussed, he said that the Jews must be given the right to settle in Muslim land. In Muslim land. As in the past, in Palestine, in Andalusia, and all that. But that doesn't seem to resonate in modern days. Because we are all nation states, which you can comment, because you propose that you should not leave exile, because that is is haram in your religion to leave Israel, to leave in exile. And he proposed that the Muslim world should open the doors to Jews like you.
Right.
So what's your comment?
Yeah. Okay. So again, I'm not. First of all, you should know that I'm not even throwing the blame on the Jewish people. So many people. We go every year when the Israelis make their Fifth Avenue parade, the Independence Day parade. It's a big parade in New York, and we go. We stand on the side. We demonstrate. We have big signs. And the very religious, you'll see, is not there. But there comes the even modern religious and others, and the students go past. We have a big signs saying, according to Judaism, we're not allowed to have a state, and so forth. And the kids want to look at us, and they're watching, they're passing, they become confused. What's this all about? And the teacher says in the Torah, you're not allowed to look at somebody who's evil, so don't look at them. You're not allowed to. That's the way. So that's the way they do it. They're inculcated. They're brainwashed, call it whatever. They have classes because they have an endless well of money, Zionism. They get billions of dollars and they use it for PR and for education in their schools to try to justify what they're doing and vilify the Palestinians, because it's a very easy road to vilify, because our children, our grandchildren, many in our communities, people were murdered, tortured, not so long ago. Like I said, my father escaped from the Nazis. We're a generation removed from this. So the people, these children, a lot of them are coming from parents who are immigrants, and they suffered, and they know what anti-Semitism means. Not because they wanted a state, but they were simply because they were Jews. So they tell these people, oh, the Mufti of Jerusalem worked together with Hitler, and these people, all the Palestinians hate the Jews, They use fear-mongering. So a lot of Jews they are simply, unfortunately, and I'm not condoning, I'm not giving them right, but a lot of these people are simply because of fear-mongering that they're going to be thrown into the ocean, they say, by the Palestinian people and so forth. They use fear and vilification of the Palestinians. Why could they do to Palestine, to Gaza, and the whole world is silent? We say it's the works of Satan, but they dehumanize the people of Palestine. They make them like they hate the Jews because of the hostages, the story of the hostages. And so they simply are evil. That's the way they move in the mindset of humanity. So I'm not saying it's a lot of the leadership, and a lot of Jews unfortunately go along with this. There are many Jews, by the way, who would be outspoken against Zionism, but I just had a demonstration last week. We were in New York. We have pictures of it. My car, I came back to my car, the tire was slashed, the window was smashed, and it cost a fortune. Today it's with electronic technology, the fortunes. And they did it with impunity. They do this, and they threaten the lives of us, the children. And in Israel, the police and the government is the ones who are implicit in this. They're helping it all. In New York, at least, or in the other places, the police will, because of them, they're afraid to come and kill us. But basically, people are afraid to be outspoken. So, or else you would have so much more of a Jewish voice together. But it's true that a lot of this was enabled by, let's say, the Balfour Amendment. They say, on the contrary, they wanted them out of England. So there was a solution. They'll have them out of England and into Palestine. It'll be a double solution. They get rid of them, and they'll be able to say that they're doing for the Jewish people. And in fact, in the House of Lords and the House of Commons, there was books written on this that they said the majority of Jews don't even want this. There was an argument between other people about Balfour, and then we have those. It's written in books. We have the statements that others said, "Why do you want this?" The majority of Jews, we're not anti-Semitic. The majority of Jews don't even want this state. So you're right, and there's a lot of other reasons that people say that they wanted to make the Jewish state there, because that they wanted to be able to have a control of a Western civilization because of the power of oil, and they wanted to have a stabilizing force over there. Could be many reasons, but I'm even saying even if they meant 100% because of humanitarians, there's no justification to go into somebody's house and say, "Hey, give it to this poor guy. It's, after all, he's poor. You don't have any children. Why do you need such a big house?" So you're going to say, "Oh, he's a very anthropologist. He's giving it to the poor person." No, you're going to say he's a thief. So it's no excuse, because whatever their reasons are, even if it's humanitarian reason, they're being conned, they're being duped because of the religion, and it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. That's why what I'm trying to show is not the vilification of Jewish people. It's explaining how it's ridiculous, ironic, that the acceptance of the state of Israel, because it's a Jewish state, and the condemnation of anti-Semitism, it's all false. That's basically what we're trying to show. And there could be many reasons, like I said, that why there are other people. But even on the best of reasons, it's unacceptable. You can't do it. You can't take away from what the people are doing. It's against the Palestinians. It's inhumane. It's against what we call, what people call inhumane, we call against God. So it's unacceptable in every way. And then what was can you remind me about listen, there's two issues. There's the issue of that I mean, ideally, Jews living in the other lands, and it would be ideal that we should live. But first of all, it's not always practical. I mean, again, first we have to, like I said, divide the issue. First understand what the crime is. And what the solution is that we have to, once we know, we diagnose what the problem is, we have to immediately come to a solution. Let's say right now, a ceasefire, that's the first thing. A ceasefire. How can you continue killing? And you have to understand, once you come to ceasefire, then say, wait a second. What was the whole fight about? Let's start discussing. The fight was not about because of Hamas. No. The problem started when you occupied the land over there. We're not condoning, we're not talking with the issues about we're talking about what is the reason, the core issue, and let's try to find a solution. Is the solution that Jews should move back to other lands? I don't know if it's possible. I will tell you, even when Gaza was given back to the Muslims, there was some Zionist movements who wanted to go, and they were disenchanted, and they wanted to go under the Palestinian Authority in Gaza. There were some communities that were living in Gaza, and they called me, I should call Hamas. And I called. And they thought about it, and they said, you see, they're very afraid of taking the responsibility, because God forbid somebody should come and hurt a Jew who could be instigated by the Zionists, which they were implicated in putting bombs in Iraq, by the way, in order to create panic, and they did it in Yemen. So you don't know what they're up to. So basically, I don't know if that's the solution. But one thing we have to understand, first of all, it's unacceptable, the occupation. What we can sit down, we can have a way of setting. Also, the issue is that we're not allowed to, we shouldn't be occupying, taking the land. It should be a free Palestine. How Jews will be able to coexist? We can work out that Jews could coexist. That's not a problem. Whether many Jews have to leave because of the decree of Jews not to return en masse is our problem, our issue. Maybe that's good, but we can live together. And so, like, I mean, what you were asking, I don't know if I'm exactly answering your thing, because he said that the Jews should return to the lands.
No, he said that the Muslim response to the dissolution of Israel is to allow Jews to live in Muslim land as they had in the past.
I'm saying,
and this Professor Ismail Farouqi is now. He was the founder of IAIS, and probably Brother Arif here, I would like to request him because IAIS was also founded by our present Prime Minister. He's also a founder, both of them, right? Yeah. So his book is very detailed discussion on the problem of Israel from the Islamic perspective.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so it could be possible. I mean, it could be that's part of the solution. It could be done. And by the way, our hearts go out. We are hoping for the Dr. Neturei that he should have a speedy recovery. And we worked with him. We were so impressed. Always, he's so lucid, so clear. His differentiating between Judaism and Zionism, and such a just man. We hope God should give him a speedy recovery, and really looking forward that he should continue with his fight for that. And altogether, Malaysia is a good country standing up for the people of Palestine. Let me just say that it's not the vilification of people. Really, I would like to stress that many people aren't scared. We go out and people come with such emotions, Jewish people, and they say, "How dare you? What are you doing? Don't you see what's going to happen? They're going to murder all the Jews." A lot of these people are simply because they're afraid of being murdered and so forth. So it's just fear-mongering and hiding the truth that we live together, that Muslims and Jews live together, and that we can live together. But and like this, the support comes a lot of times because of using false, sometimes evil ideas, sometimes good ideas, but it's wrong, and the solution is one. Not to take the land from the Palestinian people, and we can work out with God's help a solution, and we'll all turn back. We'll turn back the Jewish people to the Jewish religion. They'll respect the Jewish leaders. They will find that it is a just and a very able way of coexisting and peace and doing what's right. That's what you were required to do: return the land to the people of Palestine.
So doing what's right. I think with that, a great round of applause to Rabbi Yisroel. I think 1 hour and a half went pretty briefly, when we have a very engaging participation from you guys. So with that, I'd like to also thank everybody for your engaging discussions. And also, before we end, I'd like to invite, as a token of appreciation, our CEO on the side, Azman, to present a token of appreciation to both Rabbi Weiss and Rabbi Yusuf. So I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of questions for both of the rabbis. So afterwards, please feel free to get the pamphlets and cards from them.
Yeah, there's pamphlets, and you can take anything from our site. It's download, use if you need high resolution. We can give you, both pictures and books or whatever it may be. Also, I would love to continue. We could continue.
We have a simple refreshment.
And also to those who want to hear more about Rabbi Weiss, IAIS Malaysia will be having a podcast later this afternoon. And please wait for it online to be published. Thank you very much again. Thank you everybody, and see you again.
Please spread the word. Spread the word,
and also we have some. Please enjoy our simple refreshments outside. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Especially to the people of Palestine and to Gaza, let them hear. Please let the Jewish people in Jerusalem and around the world. Our hearts are crying, and we are standing together. And God will help, inshallah. The Almighty, there will be a free Palestine.
You bring any free Torah? Do you have any Torah?